Yeah, part 2 of the 3rd of July update, and here I have zoomed in at the short 4-week cycle. It's not exactly 4 weeks, but around there. And this cycle has been in the markets for a very long time, but just like the 25-week cycle, it tends to sometimes it shifts. It's stable for several years and then it shifts. And again, I hate it when that happens, but that's just how the cycle works. And another thing, the market often has some oscillations that are multiples of these 4-week cycles. So here we see it was a multiple of 4. So we had a low here, and then we have another 4 cycles, and here it got a bit messy. It tried to make a low at the 3rd cycle, but that was too early, and then it stretched into 4.5 cycles. So if we place the next one here, we see here it shifted. So we have here a shift in this oscillation and a low here. Then another 4 cycles, and we have a low here. Another 4 cycles, we have a low here. Another 4 cycles, we have a low here. But then it gets a bit messy. So we have this oscillation, but it has a very strange shape. So perhaps it has shifted like this. I don't know. So when I realized this earlier this year, I also discovered that maybe this double multiple, 2 of these cycles, maybe that's the dominant oscillation now. So we see it here, we have one here, we have one here, another one here. But then again, it gets a bit messy here, because this double low here was not kind of supposed to happen. So has this cycle shifted? Is this the new behavior, or will we go back to the previous? As we see, we are now here. If I place it there, on Monday, tomorrow, we are very close to the cycle low, but we are not near a market low. So we could crash down the next couple of days and make a low here at the lower low. Very possible, but again, maybe it has shifted from here into here. That gives us some more time for making a lower low. Let's see the date. Yeah, mid-July. So that could be in these periods where the cycles start to shift. You really don't know what's going on. You just have to wait and see how it stabilizes. If I go back to the 25-week cycle, you see here I have drawn this. The market shifted by 25 weeks. We have one here and shifted 25 weeks, another one 25 weeks, 25 weeks. So if you look here in orange, this is where we are tomorrow on Monday. And if we look at the previous cycles, just let me mention in red here, I have the theoretical cycle. So where were the lows, the previous lows? We see in green here. This was a bit, by the theoretical cycle it was perfect. So there was a low. In blue, that was a bit later. In light blue, that was also later. And here in purple, that was a bit later. So that was the earliest low, and this was the latest. And this is where we are now. So if this cycle is still dominant, we see this cycle started here in orange, and it was very left translated, very bearish. It only rallied for a couple of weeks and then it turned down. So it should just continue down to mid-August sometime, plus or minus some weeks. As we see, there's an interval here. So as I said last week, things are a bit complicated. The overall cycle is pointing down for another possible 12 months, but how will the market behave through these 12 months? Where do we see medium-term lows and highs? Where, it's hard to say, especially when the cycles start to misbehave. But as I said, we have one cycle has a low in mid-August, the 25-week cycle, and we have the 40-week cycle has a low sometime in October to November. And exactly how this plays out we have to see. As I showed here, we are on Monday very close to the theoretical low. I also said last week it could be a higher low, because in my cycle theory, normal cycle, or say a normal bearish cycle, would look like this, but then I have something that I call a collapsing cycle, and that one looks like this. So it ends up at the same place, but it has a fake lower low here because it collapses and then it corrects back to where it was supposed to end. So a higher low could still be the cycle low. But if this cycle has shifted from this into this, we could have a cycle low around mid-July going to lower lows. Okay, see you on the next one.